development for the B-21 Raider originally began in 2004 when the U.S. Air Force began its next-generation bomber program, although it was canceled in 2009 after spending $1.4 billion. The service spearheaded a new program, Long-Range Strike Bomber LRSB, in 2011. 4 years later, the Air Force awarded the B-21 contract to Northrop Grumman, beating out a joint Lockheed Martin-Boeing effort. The new B-21 stealth bombers are designed to fly thousands of miles away, slip undetected through enemy air defenses, drop several tons of bombs on targets, and clear the way for U.S. and allied militaries. Only the B-2 can currently do that, and the U.S. owns just a handful. The Air Force will likely acquire more than 100 of the stealth bombers, which are capable of launching nuclear strikes around the world. The B-21 Raider, which is currently in the prototype testing stage, will likely replace many of the aging bombers in the U.S. Air Force, such as the B-52 Stratofortress, B-1B Lancer, and B-2 Spirit. The United States Air Force announced that Ellsworth Air Force Base, AF, South Dakota, will be home to the next-generation nuclear bomber. While it won't be for a few more years, residents of the Mount Rushmore state will likely get to see the Northrop Grumman B-21 Raider overhead. Whiteman AFB, Missouri, and Dice AFB, Texas, will also receive B-21 Raiders as the aircraft become available. The Air Force had previously said that it used a deliberate process to minimize mission impact during the transition, maximize facility reuse, minimize cost, and reduce overhead. Ellsworth AFB currently is home to 2 B-1 bomber squadrons. The Air Force will incrementally retire existing B-1 Lancers as well as B-2 Spirits when a sufficient number of B-21s are delivered. According to the Air Force, Barksdale AFB, Louisiana, and Minot AFB, North Dakota, will continue to host the B-52 Stratofortress, which is expected to continue conducting operations through 2050. The B-21 is America's first advanced weapons system in a new Cold War with Russia and China. Strategists at the Pentagon envision the radar-evading B-21 penetrating those countries' air defenses to strike fortified targets should the growing military competition with Moscow and Beijing ever turn hot. China is on track to have 1,500 nuclear weapons by 2035, and its gains in hypersonics, cyber warfare, and space capabilities present the most consequential and systemic challenge to U.S. national security and the free and open international system. More than money is at stake. Or failure for the B-21 program may determine whether the U.S. retains a long-range bomber advantage over its global rivals or saddles taxpayers with interest payments on yet another gold-plated budget buster for years to come. Each B-21 bomber begins its life on the northern end of Building 401 at Plant 42 as a wedge-shaped, granite-colored shell of lightweight composite materials. It moves southward down the line from one workstation to the next, transforming into a bomber. Avionics, radars, sensors, weapons bays, windows, and wings. Traditionally, airplanes are manufactured from the inside out, but it's the other way around for stealth craft. Hundreds of thousands of parts are pieced together inside the B-21's sleek boomerang-shaped shell. The goal is to keep the sinister-looking jet's exterior as smooth as glass to reduce radar reflection. Stealth is the B-21's defining feature. From the beginning, Northrop's engineers have labored to create a plane that can fly undetected through enemy airspace and remain invisible to missiles and fighter jets. To lower the infrared and acoustic signatures, the B-21 is designed to fly at subsonic speeds, powered by jet engines embedded into the wings like shark gills. High-tech coating materials are applied to the rounded exterior, creating sponge-like skin reputed to absorb radar waves as they strike the aircraft. The B-21 is designed to be even stealthier than the B-2, which reportedly appeared no bigger than a tennis ball on radar screens despite a wingspan akin to a 747 jumbo jet. The B-21's size, weight, range, and payload remain undisclosed, but to the trained eye it's noticeably smaller than the B-2. Many of the plane's technical details, however, will likely remain classified for as long as any of us are alive. The Air Force and Northrop have poured an untold fortune to prevent information from leaking out. Many suppliers remain unaware they are making parts for the B-21. Northrop engineers and technicians were unable to tell family or friends they worked on the program until June, and even then, couldn't reveal details about what they do all day. The new B-21 stealth bombers are designed to fly thousands of miles away, slip undetected through enemy air defenses, drop several tons of bombs on targets, and clear the way for U.S. and allied militaries. Only the B-2 can currently do that, and the U.S. owns just a handful. Fast forward to 1999 when Bussier's 2 crews were in Yugoslavian airspace with a formidable air defense system below them. Since the B-52 reached initial operational capacity, IOC, in 1997, everyone in the program was itching to fight, shake the airshow queen moniker, and show the world what the super-secret bomber could do in combat. The Kosovo War offered the opportunity. While the B-2 bomber was initially designed for deep penetration into the Soviet Union to drop nuclear gravity bombs, it was additionally configured in the mid-1990s to include a conventional bomb drop capability of 20 tons. When it comes to the Pentagon's stealthy short-range F-35s, the existing planes can infiltrate hostile airspace but can only traverse a fraction of the distance of the B-21 and carry much lighter weapon loads. To operate in the Western Pacific, it must be based on aircraft carriers or islands relatively close to East Asia's coastline, where they're vulnerable to the 2,200-plus missiles in China's rocket force, many of which can hit moving ships. The B-21, in contrast, can launch strikes from the North American mainland or more distant islands like Hawaii or Diego Garcia. That means even a Pearl Harbor-like first strike on U.S. air bases in East Asia wouldn't prevent a powerful American retaliatory capability in the first days of a war. China's military grasps the benefit of long-range stealth bombers in the Pacific context and is developing its own Raider-like stealth bomber intended to expand its strike range. The question hanging over the B-21 is whether Northrop and the Air Force have learned their lessons from the past before embarking on this new, massive strategic gamble. If everything goes to plan, aerospace giant Northrop Grumman will produce at least 100 B-21s for the Air Force in the coming years at a current cost of $692 million per bomber, a price tag comparable to that of a skyscraper. While the program has hit early milestones, the largest challenges lie ahead for the Pentagon and its tendency to underestimate risk, technical difficulty, and cost to get big-ticket programs like B-21 rolling. Nonetheless, the B-21 appears to have a sound concept and has been developed without cost overruns and only relatively minor delays. It seems likely to be more flexible, upgradable, and cost-efficient than the aircraft it's replacing. That provides hope not only for this new aircraft, but also for the ability of the Pentagon to right the ship for other future systems. This isn't just another airplane. It's not just another acquisition. It's the embodiment of America's determination to defend the republic that we love. It's a testament to our strategy of deterrence with the capabilities to back it up every time and everywhere. That's what America does.